On the surface, it looked like the dream. Palm trees swaying above gated driveways, sunlight reflecting off infinity pools, vintage watches ticking quietly inside glass cases, worth more than most people's annual salaries, international flights to Europe, long summers in the French countryside, a Hollywood career that built a multi-million-dollar net worth. From the outside, Eric Dane's life appeared polished, powerful, and perfectly curated. But luxury has layers. Behind the Beverly Hills real estate, behind the rare Rolex, behind the carefully designed recording studio, there was a man redefining what wealth actually meant. This is not just a story about property portfolios and collector timepieces. It's a story about how a $7 million fortune can buy comfort, but not control. How success can build a dream, but not stop time. And how, in the end, the definition of luxury can change completely. Eric Dane built his fortune through decades in Hollywood. Known globally for his television work and commanding on-screen presence, he turned steady acting success into smart investments. By the height of his career, his net worth was estimated at around $7 million. In celebrity terms, that might not rival billionaires or tech moguls, but in practical terms, it afforded him entry into some of Los Angeles's most exclusive neighborhoods and access to a lifestyle many only see on screen. Real estate became one of his most significant wealth anchors. Like many savvy entertainers, Dane understood that property in Los Angeles is more than a home. It's a financial strategy. Prime neighborhoods appreciate. Architecture becomes legacy. Location becomes status. One of his most notable properties was a modern farmhouse in Beverly Hills post office area. This wasn't just a house, it was a retreat. Clean architectural lines, expansive windows flooding rooms with California light, a luxury backyard designed for privacy and comfort. The pool area wasn't simply decorative, it was resort-level living within the boundaries of a gated property. For celebrities, privacy is its own currency, and this estate delivered it. But the true personal touch was something more intimate. A 150-square-foot professional recording studio integrated into the property, soundproofed, technically equipped, built not for fame, but for passion. In an industry obsessed with visibility, this space was about solitude, about creativity without cameras. That studio revealed something important about Dane's version of luxury. It wasn't just about displaying wealth, it was about building environments where he could explore interests beyond acting, music, audio production, personal expression. In addition to his Beverly Hills retreat, Dane held another Los Angeles residence, a 2,265-square-foot home featuring 3 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms. Purchased in 2004, $949,000, the property appreciated significantly over time, rising to an estimated value of around $2.3 million. That appreciation wasn't accidental. Los Angeles real estate, especially when purchased early in emerging luxury cycles, can quietly multiply wealth without headlines. This is how many Hollywood professionals build financial security, not through flash alone, but through strategic patience. But real estate was only part of the picture. Eric Dane was also a known enthusiast of horology, the art and science of timekeeping. In the world of luxury assets, watches occupy a unique position. They are portable wealth, mechanical art, status symbols that whisper instead of shout. Among his prized pieces was a vintage Rolex Cosmograph Daytona reference, 6263 with a rare Sigma dial. For collectors, that detail matters. The Sigma marking indicates precious metal indices, a subtle but powerful signal of exclusivity. This specific reference is considered one of the most desirable vintage Daytonas in existence. To the untrained eye, it's just a watch. To collectors, it's heritage, rarity, craftsmanship, and investment combined. Vintage Rolex Daytonas have been known to appreciate dramatically over time. Some sell at auction for multiples of their original value. Owning one isn't just about telling time, it's about holding a piece of mechanical history on your wrist. And perhaps there's symbolism there. A man investing in one of the most coveted timepieces in the world, eventually confronting the reality that time itself cannot be purchased. Luxury also shaped how Dane approached travel. With financial stability and global recognition, he was able to give his family access to high-end international experiences. Europe became a favored destination. The French countryside offered something Los Angeles rarely can: quiet, rolling hills, historic estates, slow living, luxury rentals, private villas, extended stays that blurred the line between vacation and temporary relocation. For many affluent families, travel becomes education, exposure, a way to create memories that outlast possessions. Dane embraced that version of wealth, experiences over extravagance. Yet even within these indulgences, there was restraint. Dane's lifestyle was refined, but not ostentatious in the billionaire sense. He wasn't acquiring mega yachts or building 30,000-square-foot compounds. His wealth tier allowed for comfort, exclusivity, and curated assets, but it remained grounded in strategic investments and personal passions. Then everything changed. Following his ALS diagnosis, the definition of luxury shifted dramatically. ALS, a progressive neurological disease, reframes everything. Suddenly, the pool views, the vintage Rolex, the real estate portfolio, all of it sits in a different light. His wife, Rebecca Gayhart, later shared that their priorities evolved toward what she called the real luxuries of life: slow mornings, calm days, meaningful conversations, moments that most people rush through without noticing. In wealth culture, luxury is often equated with acquisition, more property, rarer watches, better locations. But illness has a way of stripping that illusion away. What remains is presence. During the progression of his condition, Dane also spent time at a high-end property property above the Sunset Strip owned by close friend Johnny Depp, perched above one of Los Angeles' most iconic nightlife districts. That residence represents another tier of celebrity luxury, panoramic views, architectural drama, privacy suspended above the city's chaos. But in those final chapters, the view wasn't about status, it was about peace. Wealth, in that context, became a support system rather than a spectacle. High-end homes offered comfort, financial security allowed medical access and family focus. Luxury transformed from display to protection. There's something quietly powerful about that transition. Eric Dane's story isn't about explosive billionaire excess. It's about the nuanced tier of celebrity wealth that blends smart investment with lifestyle comfort. A $7 million net worth doesn't buy islands, but it buys security, beautiful environments, curated hobbies, and global access. It buys choice, and choice, in many ways, is the purest form of luxury. The ability to choose where you live, what you collect, where you travel, how you spend your time, and eventually, how you redefine what matters. In the early chapters of his wealth journey, luxury meant Beverly Hills property lines, appreciating square footage, and rare Swiss mechanics ticking precisely on his wrist. In the final chapters, luxury meant something far simpler: time with family, unrushed mornings, conversations without distraction, stillness above the Sunset Strip. For many wealthy individuals, that realization comes too late. The chase for more can overshadow the value of now. Dane's life offers a contrast, a reminder that material success is powerful, but perspective is priceless. In a city obsessed with status, his later outlook carried a different kind of elegance. Not louder, not flashier, but deeper. Because in the end, luxury isn't just about what you own. It's about what you're able to hold onto when everything else falls away. And sometimes, the most expensive watch in the world cannot compete with a quiet morning spent with the people you love. That may be the rarest luxury of all. There is a fascinating contrast between the Hollywood image of wealth and the quieter reality behind gated doors. In public, luxury often looks loud: red carpets, flashing cameras, designer labels, and multi-million-dollar listings splashed across magazines. But for someone like Eric Dane, much of his wealth operated in silence. Real estate appreciates quietly. Vintage watches gain value without announcement. Recording studios sit behind closed doors, creating sound that few outsiders ever hear. His lifestyle reflected a tier of success that doesn't need to shout to be significant. Los Angeles itself plays a major role in shaping that kind of wealth. Property in neighborhoods like Beverly Hills Post Office isn't just about aesthetics, it's about insulation from chaos. High walls, gated entries, long driveways, these are architectural responses to fame. Privacy becomes infrastructure, and infrastructure becomes luxury. For celebrities, the ability to disappear inside your own home is worth millions. Dane's investments suggest he understood that dynamic deeply. The appreciation of his Los Angeles residence from $949,000 to an estimated $2.3 million also tells a broader story about long-term positioning. In cities like Los Angeles, buying at the right time can quietly double or triple wealth without fanfare. That kind of strategic move separates temporary celebrity spending from sustainable financial growth. It reflects planning, not impulse. In a world where many entertainers burn through fortunes quickly, property becomes a stabilizer. His Rolex Cosmograph Daytona, particularly a rare reference like the 6263 with a Sigma dial, adds another layer of sophistication. Vintage timepieces are not merely accessories, they are portable assets. The right reference can appreciate significantly, especially when rarity meets condition and provenance. Collectors view these watches as mechanical art, precision instruments, crafted in an era when timekeeping required both engineering mastery and aesthetic restraint. Owning such a piece reflects not just wealth, but taste. There's also symbolism in collecting watches. While living in an industry that revolves around timing, acting careers depend on being right for the moment. Real estate markets depend on timing. Investment growth depends on timing. And yet, when faced with illness, time becomes something entirely different, not a metric of opportunity, but a resource to be cherished. That shift from measuring time to valuing it is profound. Travel, too, takes on deeper meaning when viewed through that lens. The European trips, the French countryside stays, the luxury rentals, those experiences weren't simply indulgences. They were memory-making environments. Wealth allowed flexibility, extended stays instead of rushed vacations, private accommodations instead of crowded hotels. These details create space to breathe, to reconnect, to step away from industry pressure. Spending time at Johnny Depp's high-end property above the Sunset Strip also illustrates how wealth often intersects within close circles. Elite properties become sanctuaries shared among friends who understand the pressures of public life. Perched above one of Los Angeles' most iconic districts, that home represents altitude in every sense: physically elevated, socially elevated, financially elevated. Yet during vulnerable periods, elevation becomes about perspective, not prestige. What's compelling about Dane's story is how it mirrors a broader truth about mid-tier celebrity wealth. Not every successful actor reaches billionaire territory, but strategic choices can still build a life of substantial comfort. $7 million, when managed wisely, funds prime real estate, rare collectibles, international travel, and creative exploration. It provides insulation from instability. It creates autonomy, and autonomy may be the most underrated luxury of all. The transformation in his final year reframes everything that came before it. Luxury shifted from accumulation to awareness. The backyard pool became less about aesthetics and more about shared afternoons. The recording studio became less about production quality and more about expression. The watch watch collection became less about rarity and more about symbolism. When health becomes uncertain, clarity sharpens. In the end, Eric Dane's lifestyle reveals something subtle but powerful about wealth. Material success can build beautiful environments, provide security, and open doors across continents. But the true test of luxury is what remains meaningful when circumstances change. Mansions, watches, and exclusive addresses carry value, but time, connection, and peace carry weight. And sometimes, the most extraordinary transformation in a wealthy life isn't the acquisition of more, it's the realization that enough was already there.